Good evening, everyone. This is a pre recorded discussion for those who are not able to get on the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time webinar on every Wednesday. But if you'd like to get on that webinar and be part of the discussion, you just go to AskSamEllis.com and you can register there. But welcome. My name is Sam Ellis, and tonight we're going to have a different kind of conversation. Uh, Not about hard work, because we all are hard workers. It's not about marketing tactics, but about something most business owners never get taught, and that's clarity inside the business, right? Because a lot of people in this room, you're working, you're producing, you're generating income. But at the same time, it can feel like something is spilling through the cracks, right? We're busy, but something's missing. And this conversation is really for four types of people: the entrepreneur working hard, but not seeing the full results; the business owner who knows that they're built something amazing, but it still depends on them; and the leader who wants to build something that actually lasts; the entrepreneur who wants to give back in knowledge and wisdom. So that person is like me, has already went through the generation of passing the business down to the next generation, but want to give back because there's too many companies that have been around for many, many years. And when they stop working, the business dies, right? I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and I was telling her what I was doing. And she's still going into talking about real estate. The same thing happens to family. They live out in an area called Berrytown, and it was a predominantly black community. But when the families get older and the kids start stepping in, then something happens. The property gets sold, doesn't get passed down to the next generation. And it's the same with business, right? Here's the big idea I want you to hold on to tonight. Most business problems are not effort problems, they're clarity problems. Clarity in the numbers, clarity in the structure, clarity in how business actually works. And when clarity shows up, everything changes. And so grab a pen, something to write, and so, a notepad. As my friend always told me, the late Lester Williams, let's take copious notes. Because this might shift how you see your business. Let me start with something real. About 70% of family businesses don't make it to the second generation, and 90% don't make it to the third generation. Not that, not because people don't work hard. It's not the case. And now, with minority businesses, only 13% of black owned businesses pass on to the next generation. But look at this number. In the majority business, 85% want to pass it on. And in minority business, 65% of black business owners plan to pass it on, but about two in three have no clear succession plan. So think about how many here is in their second generation of business. Think about that. I've seen people build incredible businesses. I have acquired. I have a acquired business myself that was going to go under. I have an acquaintance. Just tell a quick story. It's an electrician. Uh, he started the business a little bit after me. He even told me, he stopped me one day, we were in the neighborhood, and he told me his story that he admired me and that I inspired him to go into business for himself. And after I listened to his story. I asked him a question. I said, "Well, I see you uh, probably you're in retirement age. What's going to happen to your business when you retire?" And he stopped and he said, "Out of nothing. I don't have anybody to pass it down to." He has like 3 or 4 trucks, been around for a long time. And so that's what's happening with a lot of companies. They have great work ethics, great craft. Customers love him, always busy, but everything runs through him. The pricing, the relationship, the decisions, it all lives in his head. And that works until it doesn't. Because here's the principle that changes everything for me. If it lives in your head, it dies with you. And when I heard that, I realized something. That's not negative, that's clarity. If you know someone like that, type yes in the comments. If I just think it in your mind, yes. If you know a family business that died and the business died with them, say yes in your mind. Most businesses don't fail because they can't make money. That's not the problem. Most businesses don't fail because of that. They fail because they're not built to run without the founder. Let me show you what that looks like. The founder is the center of everything. Customers comes to you. Decisions comes to you. Problems comes to you. The business works, but only because you are holding it together. And most people don't realize that they're in this trap until they try to step away. They try to take a break. Things slow down. They try to delegate. They try to step back. Lord knows that they don't get sick and be away from the business for months and realize the business can't run without them. That's not ownership, that's dependency. If that hits home, then really think about that, you know? And so, what's missing? What's really missing? It comes down to 4 areas I call the clarity gap: vision, structure, financial, and leadership. And I can do a presentation on every one of those gaps, and I've done that before. Now, tonight, I'm not here to teach you all the 4 in detail because that's not the goal here. The goal is here is for you to see where your business is unclear because once you see it, you can't go back. You can't unsee it. I learned this personally. When I stepped into our family asphalt business, on the outside, it looked successful, but underneath, there was no real structure. Everything lived in my uncle's head. And when I stepped in, I realized I didn't inherit a system. I inherited confusion. So we slowed everything down. We clarified ownership. We clarified roles. We clarified numbers. Because here's what I learned: clarity protects relationships. I love my uncle. We had a really good relationship, and I wanted to keep it that way. Confusion destroys them. So then later, my daughter, Chelsea, stepped in. She could have gone to college right out of high school. She had scholarships, as many young people do, and pursue a degree in something. She always talked about being in business for herself. I remember talking about owning hotels. But she decided to go to what we call Sam Ellis University. And I'm so grateful for that. It turned out really well. So, but one thing I knew, I had to protect my daughter. I had to get it right. I had to make sure this business ran the right way. I've done it before. This is not my first rodeo. I've built a business for 17 years and sold it to a competitor. So I've been there and done that, have structured a business the right way. But something powerful happened as we transitioned. Our roles were clear, there was no confusion, little tension, some tension because I've been I was going towards retirement and I've been doing this for over 40 years. So you're gonna have some tension, right? But there was no guessing. The team knew who to go to now. And the business got stronger. And that's been over 3 years ago. And it's amazing what's going on. This is the shift most people never make. You're a busy operator working in the business every day. Becoming a strategic owner is the shift. The business can run without you. And here's the principle: growth without clarity creates pressure. Clarity before growth creates stability, right? So, the framework. So, here's how you actually build this through what I call the clarity framework: strategic alignment, operational autonomy, financial clarity, and governance. Now, again, this isn't about mastering everything tonight, it's about understanding. There is a structure behind a real business, and most business never reach that, and that's why they're not able to transfer it to the next generation. It takes time, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of planning, and it takes a team. In the asphalt business, we use this to saying: if you fix the crack early, you save the pavement. But if you ignore it, water gets in, winter hits, and the whole surface breaks down. Businesses are the same way. Small issues, unclear numbers, unclear roads, no system. They don't stay small, they spread. So this is a slide that's very dear to me. If something happens to me, what happens to them? Meaning my family or the next generation, right? And so when I first started business over 40 years ago, I was the operator of a parking lot sweeping business. And so I pretty much did all the work. I had some helpers, But if something happens to me, what would happen to my family? And that got me to thinking way back then. And that's been my mindset even till today. And that's where this training and this program come from, that mindset. So the question becomes, are you going to fix it now or wait until it becomes expensive? Because the best time to build clarity was yesterday, right? The second best time is today. So here's the invitation. So here's the reality as well. Understanding this is one thing, implementing it is something different. And that's why I created the clarity room. This is where we actually fix the structure, where we walk through your business and identify what's missing. Then we have what we call the clarity library, which gives you the structure. Then the clarity vault, which gives you the tools, right, to actually build this the right way. You can get started today, uh, and I'm going to share with you the offer in just a few minutes. But just want to share this because this is not for everybody, right? Who is Clarity Library for? It's for people, business owners who want financial clarity, leaders who are willing to build systems, people who value strategic and discipline, or strategy and discipline, and families who want to plan long term, right? Legacy building. So it's not for owners seeking overnight success because it takes time to build a business that you could be able to not only sell as an asset, but most importantly, pass it on to the next generation. Leaders who aren't willing to change, people who just want motivation, and family who aren't serious about legacy, right? It's not for them. The Clarity Library uh, is a growth plan and is an annual subscription and a structured business clarity platform designed to help you understand your financial position. So that's the first thing is going through the process to understand your numbers. To if you need to separate personal from business, all that mess that you got to clean up, right? Evaluate your system, document ownership roles, prepare for succession, and improve transferability readiness. And then we have the community, which is priceless. And this is where you're going to have other people in the community that's waiting for you to address some of the things that you're going through. So, as a community, we can help you move forward. Full access to the Clarity Before Growth Library, membership in the Clarity community, weekly Clarity Room live sessions, ongoing diagnostic discussions, ownership and succession planning support, peer based insight and accountability. And we also use technology such as AI. And we've been doing this for so long, we have what we call AI prompts for business clarity. So you'll receive these guided prompts like, help me analyze my business model, help me structure my revenue stream, help me evaluate this real estate deal. Help me identify weaknesses in my business. So we give you the right prompts to put into the AI system that's going to help you get the answers that you need. Won't replace you, but it's your assistant. And the investment is $444 per year. If you like, you can pay 3 months installment of $160, and you can begin with the first three clarity lessons immediately right after this webinar. You can you can go and you can get immediate access to this program and get the first three lessons absolutely free, so you can feel it and see what the clarity room looks like and feels like. And I wanted to make sure I priced it in a way that you can afford it. You know, I joined several different programs, online programs for thousands of dollars. You know, I think the most I paid was over $12,000. Uh, Similar courses like this one is running like $1,200 a year, and but this one is just less than a cup of coffee a day. So I know it's not the price would never be the problem for you joining. So the goal isn't just to make money. The goal is to business. You're already in business. I'm talking to CEOs of different size businesses. Then income. Your business create incomes, buys assets. Assets creates ongoing pay, which creates a legacy for you. So that's the process, that's the system that we believe in, right? And so before you go farther, build the structure. The gaps are clear. Every one of us, as we went through this presentation, we know what our gaps are. The next step isn't guessing, the next step is structure. So go ahead and enter the clarity room. And whatever you see this video in the button, there may be a button there, or in the discussion, or the description, or in the comment, you'll find the link. Have an awesome day. See you in the next video.